The executive branch of government in our system has the right to evaluate how executive branch agencies are operating to ensure that not only the intent of Congress in funding mechanisms, but also the stewardship of precious American taxpayer dollars is being handled well.
Elon Musk's popularity is tanking as he aggressively, and arguably illegally, tries to undermine several U.S. government agencies. According to The Hill, a recent Economist YouGov poll shows a dramatic drop in GOP support for Musk's influence. After the November 2024 election, 47% of Republicans wanted Musk to have significant sway in the Trump administration, but now that number has plummeted to just 26%. Meanwhile, 43% want him to have minimal influence, and 17% want him out entirely. Even Fox News journalists are pressing House Speaker Johnson about why Republicans are letting Musk run wild. The tide is turning, and Musk's grip is slipping.
Is there not an inconsistency about calling for the elimination of the Department of Education? And yet we've heard from some of your colleagues here this morning, we don't want women be playing sports with men. And aren't you ceding back that power then as it pertains to education if you eliminate the Department of Education?
No, look, I got to challenge the premise of the question, Chad. You know me, I'm a fierce advocate and defender of Article 1. I mean, we are the legislative branch. There's a reason the Founding Fathers put the Congress, the legislative branch, as the first article in the Constitution, and we're going to vigorously defend that. But what's happening right now, I think there's a gross overreaction in the media to what is happening. The executive branch of government in our system has the right to evaluate how executive branch agencies are operating to ensure that not only the intent of Congress in funding mechanisms, but also the stewardship of precious American taxpayer dollars is being handled well.
Musk's team has gone rogue, shutting down USCID and halting the distribution of its congressionally allocated funds. They've breached sensitive Treasury Department payment systems without security clearance, and even published the names of CIA officers. On top of that, they're actively working to dismantle the Department of Education. Congress, which is supposed to approve or block such actions, has done nothing. Forget the blatant illegality and constitutional violations. Conservatives are now sounding the alarm that Musk's actions threaten U.S. national security, public safety, and health.
There are places where the government touches people. USAID really isn't one of them. But like Social Security, Medicare, VA reimbursements, I mean, there are places where, like that game Operation, to stick with the medical metaphor, like there could be one spot where Musk touches and the nose lights up and people are like, what the hell is this guy doing? And that can have the tendency to cause people to retroactively view this whole period differently, right? It's like you judge it by, here's the screw up, oh my gosh, you look back and you say, this whole thing was a mess, right? And it could be something to do with national security where somebody gets kidnapped, right? We reveal the sources and methods or something. Or it could be something with entitlements, or it could be something with public safety. And presumably they know this, but if their attitude is cut first and fix later, just knowing it and actually doing something about it are two different things.
Even if things spiral out of control, innocent people die, or the Doge efforts turn into a political nightmare for Donald Trump, the president has cleverly positioned himself at arm's length. While Elon Musk is essentially carrying out Trump's agenda, and it's the Trump administration facing dozens of lawsuits, Trump can still point to Musk as the fall guy if everything goes sideways. But if the public ends up supporting Musk's aggressive moves, Trump can swoop in and take the credit. Political strategists on both sides believe Trump is thrilled with Musk's work and isn't losing sleep over Musk's plummeting popularity. Ironically, Democrats might be unintentionally helping Trump by focusing so much attention on Musk alone. By making Musk the center of the storm, they're letting Trump off the hook, allowing him to play both sides of the game. It's a political tightrope, and Trump is walking it with a smirk.
The biggest mistake Democrats are making is making it all about Elon Musk. Say Donald Trump is doing this. Donald Trump is purging the FBI. Donald Trump is cutting aid. Donald Trump is preventing packages, I know it reversed, from China to come in. But Elon Musk, by you doing that, he is unelected. He is operating. He takes all of the fire away from Donald Trump's feet. Stop it.
While Donald Trump may have somewhat insulated himself from the political fallout caused by Elon Musk's actions, Congressional Republicans aren't so lucky. There's every indication that Musk's aggressive government purge, shutting down agencies, breaching sensitive systems, and undermining public institutions, has become a top issue for lawmakers back in their districts and states. As they meet with constituents, they're facing a wave of confusion, frustration, and outright anger over what's happening. The problem for these Republican lawmakers is that they're caught in the middle. On one hand, they're expected to align with the Trump administration's agenda, which Musk is aggressively executing. On the other hand, they're hearing from voters who are deeply concerned about the chaos Musk is causing. Chaos that threatens national security, public safety, and the integrity of government institutions.
They can't answer questions from their constituents about what's happening tomorrow. And you have someone like an Elon Musk who is perhaps appointed, whatever that term means to Donald Trump, to be able to go in and do this. In another country, this would be called a coup. He is unaccountable, and he's going through with a team of people who are also not accountable into emails, into payment systems, without care and concern, seemingly, for the impact, the short and long-term impact of this.
House Speaker Johnson is allowing Elon Musk to act without congressional oversight, leading to government terminations, agency shutdowns, and legal violations. Some Republicans claim Musk is conducting a large-scale audit, but his approval is falling, and GOP backlash is growing. While reforms may be needed, Congress, not Musk, should legislate them. This approach is unpopular, threatening the GOP's slim majority. Meanwhile, Democrat Jasmine Crockett has been vocal against the Trump White House.
We right now have a white supremacist that is sitting in the White House. He is backed up by other white supremacists. And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has so far refrained from imposing any congressional oversight on Elon Musk, despite increasing concerns from House Republicans. Musk's actions, which have resulted in the termination of government employees, the shutdown of federal agencies, and violations of laws passed by Congress, are sparking intense debate. Some Republicans defend Musk by claiming he is conducting a sweeping government audit that will ultimately yield a report. However, this justification lacks formal accountability, raising alarms about unchecked power and the absence of proper congressional processes. Musk's public approval is plummeting as his actions continue to face mounting scrutiny. The backlash isn't just directed at him. It's also putting pressure on the Republican Party, particularly its slim House majority. Allowing Musk to operate with impunity while sidestepping both the House and Senate is proving politically costly. While some federal agencies may need reform or restructuring, these decisions must go through the proper legislative channels rather than being dictated by a single individual.